But we can continue with the class since it's going to be recorded and uploaded, so we can just continue. I guess the rest will join us. So I just give you co-host permission so you can share your screen.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Sorry, I'm coming. Now, can you all see my screen?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. So have you watched? Let's start from here. Have you watched the video on the YouTube for week 3?
No.
No, why? Is there any reason for that? Hello. Sorry, can you hear me? Sorry, what's your name? I don't think I can pull you.
Evan.
Okay, everyone is here now. You change your name.
That's my social media name.
Okay. I usually see Evan before now. Okay. Thanks for being consistent, Evan. So, anyways, I will implore you to follow up on the program so that you wouldn't miss out. At least having your time here, at the end of the day, you can count it as a gainful moment you spent here, share this time. So I will implore you to make sure you followed up on all the courses and don't hesitate to ask questions whenever you have one. And do it to also read outside the syllabus. Try to use your Google, use your YouTube to also widen your learning. Okay. So there's a file that was shared to the WhatsApp page yesterday, right? I think so. It's a zip file. I think I name it what materials. Okay, that materials
I have
now.
the file.
You have the file, very good. So on your, have you extracted it? Have you been able to extract it? Hello. Okay. So when you have the materials on your system, this is what I do. So I also, you can do the same thing. You remember we have a Shinovate folder. There's a folder we created at the beginning of this program. When you open that folder, this is what I'm not sharing my full desktop, quite all right, okay? So when you open the, what's it called? When you open the folder, this is what you should be having, just like my week 1, week 2, and week 3. Now we are in week 3, right? So in this week 3, move that file to the week 3. When you move the file to week 3, then extract it. I think this same procedure should work on Mac OS. Right click on it. If you're using Windows 7 or Windows 10, this is the option you'll be having, Windows 7 or Windows 10. Then you see if you have a WinRAR or WinZip or any other compressor, you see the options of that particular compressor here. But in my own case, I'm using Windows 11, then I'm using WinRAR. So I will just right click, then click on WinRAR here, then I'll click on extract here. Now I have my materials folder here now. This is my material folder. Now in your week 3 folder, create a new folder called practical. When you create the folder called practical, open the folder, then create another folder called images. Now go back to your week 3 directory and open the material folder. Then copy everything you have here, Control A, Control C, then paste them in your, you open your practical folder, go to the images folder, paste everything here. I'm going to explain why we are doing this. We've talked about semantic. I think I've talked about it, but I've not really buttressed on it. So I'm going to do that today. And HTML structuring. This is also part of the structuring. When you have images or external files attached to your design or your web page, you don't just leave them on the root directory of your project folder. They have to be well segmented. That is called file management in computer science generally. So you paste those items, you copy from that folder here. Then after you've done that, now you have to remove 3 files, right, from that folder, which is assignments file, the assignment mockup image, the content file, and the mockup. That is 4. You have everything inside these images. Select those one, then cut them and bring them to the root directory of the practical folder that you created. Then you should be having something like this. The only thing you will not be having is this assignment web page and this assignment HTML document and this index document. The rest should be the same with yours. So when you are done with this, then your project folder is set for today's practical. But before then, can you see my screen? I hope you can see what I'm saying here. Somebody? You can unmute yourself if you want to talk, please. Can you see my screen? Evan. Okay, Sarah, welcome.
Hi, ladies. You are not responsive. If you cannot unmute, you can drop a message in the chat box.
I've understood. I have all the files. It's just for me to download the videos off of YouTube right at the moment.
You ought to have done that since yesterday. Actually, you might not necessarily download them. You can watch them. It's very simple and explanatory. Just you can watch them, then just understand what the video is all about. Then do the same thing on your own system. But then if you're a learner like me that loves to watch repeatedly just to widen your learning, you can go ahead to download them. But then since you already have your project folder set as mine, then before we go into the project, there's something I just want to, I won't go deeply because of our time, And because I don't have light here, I won't go deeply. I will just brief them. Maybe later next week, I can talk about them. I can talk about them more. Can you see this? Can you see my slide? Can you see my slide?
Yes, I can.
Okay. I think we've talked about these HTML attributes. We've talked about them before now. So just for you to have a glance, because you have to understand all of this before you before you be able to accomplish the challenge. You understand? Like I said, HTML attribute provide additional information about your HTML elements. There's some of those attributes is href. We have the width and the height attributes. We have the source attribute, that is the src. We have the alternate attributes. All of these actually work for image elements. All this one I just mentioned now, you can use them for image element, or okay, like href, you can use it for image, you can use it for anchor, that is link, width and height, and source for images as well. Alternate for images as well. Then we have style attribute, we have title attributes, and that. But this is one thing I just want to tell us. What's the semantic? I want us to go deep into the practical. But then before then, I want to tell us something about semantic. Semantic. Okay. Okay, I have it there. HTML semantic. As a semantic element, because in that video you might be hearing something like that, semantic. So for you to have in-depth knowledge of what I'm really talking about, HTML semantic simply means element with a meaning. Now, previously, before HTML5, if you want to bold a particular text in your web design, you use B tag to bold a particular element or a particular line of codes. You use B, at least your less than B inside it, and close your less than, then you have those words inside of it. So the B tag is also an element. That is before HTML5. But in HTML5, the what's it called? The word consultant, they sat down and be like, B is not semantic enough. When we are talking about semantic, generally, semantic, we are saying something that actually has meaning, like something that gives in-depth meaning about something. In programming, we have syntax, and we have semantic. When you are talking about semantics, generally, you're saying the meaning of a word. You understand? The meaning of something. But when you are saying syntax now, when you're talking about syntax, syntactic. Syntax, that one is just the let's say the rules that govern what you're doing. You understand? That is, syntax is the rules that govern what you're doing, but semantic, it is how it's been done, or what actually explain what you're really doing. So we have it in HTML. When you say B and strong, one has, both of them will do the same thing, but one is semantically correct, which is strong. You understand? When I use strong in an element, a layman should be able, okay, strong, when something is strong, should be something bold, something big, make it bigger, rather than B. The B can be bad, the B can be bold, the B can be bad. You don't know what the B stands for. You understand? So that is what semantic is all about. And what are semantic elements? Semantic element clearly describe its meaning to both the browser and the developer, even to the users. You understand? Example of non-semantic element, we have div, we have span. We'll come back to those ones. Why examples of semantic element? We have form. When you see form, you should know, okay, anything inside this form, you should know it should be it should be details. It should be something that is going to be asking user, okay, enter your name, what is your date of birth? That is form. I see table, you know, we are about to tabulate something, we are about to display something in table. You understand? So those are semantic elements. And we still have some example of them. Some of the examples here aside details, header. When you see header, you know, okay, we are talking about maybe topmost part of a particular page or topmost part of a particular section or topmost part of a particular something, you know, that is header. When you're talking about footer, you should know, okay, footer should be something that display at the bottommost of a page of a section. You understand? That is semantic elements. Those are semantic elements. So I have a short graph here. You see your header, look at where your headers appear, look at your navigation, you can see section, you can see article, you can see aside. This aside actually, okay, this is also part of my main section, but we have it on one side of the page. You can see my footer, how it looks like. Then I say then I take some of those sections, some of those semantic elements one by one. I will not have time. You can read all of this online, obviously. So I might not be able to explain the one after the other today. Possibly next week we will go in depth, or I'm going to record the class, then we'll have it upload on the YouTube so that you can watch and understand vividly at your leisure time. Understand? So we have some of them like section elements, say define a section of an element, just like this graph you're seeing on the page now. This image you're seeing on the page. Where can you use section? For chapter, introduction, new item, contact information, blah, blah, blah. Then we have articles, we have nesting. You can nest article inside a section and vice versa. You understand? At least you can have a section, then inside the section, you can have sub elements, which is article. You can also have article and have section inside of it. By the time you start coding fully now, all of this will be very important for you. So I just want you to follow along. At least when you see them in those videos we uploaded, you won't be like, why is this man using this one here? Why didn't he use this particular one? So you should know when and how to use it. That makes your code user-friendly. There's something we call user-friendly in programming. When a layman, somebody who has never seen a code before, should read your code, you're able to understand, okay, this person is trying to, okay, this woman is, okay, it's telling me, okay, this is the header of the website, without seeing the output. Reading your code, okay, you can see this is out. And when your code is well structured, it gives room for future updates. Imagine those big websites that has been written in HTML4 or HTML3. And when HTML5 came, they want to upgrade those code. They can't start from beginning. If that code is not well structured, the previous programmer that designed that one might not be available to do that upgrade. So they might have to give the job to somebody else. So if my web page is not well structured, I will find it difficult as a programmer. Okay, where will I find the navigation? And where is the navigation? Okay, this particular thing I want to change. Where is it? But when it is well structured, you know, you can easily identify, okay, this is where I need to go to get this done. This is what I need to check to get it done. So that is the importance of having a semantic HTML. Then we have nav, where you can use navigation, where you can use aside. Then why semantic HTML? It said, according to W3C, a semantic web allows data to be shared and reused across application, enterprises, and community. Like I said, if I just send my code to you, okay, I want you to help me change something or help me to do something, you should be able to you shouldn't find it hard to lay your hand on that code. Why? Because it's user friendly. You should know where to go into. But if you see some person's code, you don't even know what to do. You even be like, okay, where am I starting from? So your code has to be semantically structured. Then we have some of the semantic elements. I just have a summary of them here and how they are being used. I have them here. Then I have, table. I don't need table for this course. Another thing I want to let us know is list, HTML list. allow web developer to group a set of related items in lists. And there are two types of lists in HTML. We have order lists. We have an order list and an unordered list. Now, this is what I want you to know. An unordered list is more or less like bullets. You can see it from this example. Now, look at this, all these items. These are bullets. But why order list is number? When you want to number something, number 1, 2, 3, 4, you use order list. But if you want to use bullets, this circle dots kind of, then you use unordered list. Then how do you use them? Then I take an HTML also support description list. You might not really be needing this for this course actually, but then I just wanted to know we also have this description list as well. Then another thing, we've talked about link, the anchor tag, we've talked about it. So I have a full course for it here as well. So don't worry, I will do a full video for this so that you can watch at your leisure time. There's still another thing I want to show us before we go into our projects for today. I think is that all for today? Is that all from here? Okay, very good. Images. I want us to understand something about HTML images and images syntax. The image tag is used to embed image to the web page. We've already known this. Then some of the attributes you can use with image. The image tag is source. But let me say the major two the major two that you must always have in every of your image is the source attribute and your hot attribute. The source attribute specifies the location of the image. It specifies the location of the image, while the hot attributes specify the alternate text. Now, at least maybe paraventure, there's a mix-up. Maybe while I'm writing the location of the image, I omitted something. The alternate is what's going to show the user, okay, this image is Barack Obama picture. This image is Evans picture or Evans image. You understand? If the image is not showing, that is what is going to display. You understand? So then I just explain them individually, the hot attributes and the source attributes. That's just the summary I just said. Then another attribute you can have with your image is the width and the height, which we are going to use in this course, in this practical we're having today. You can use the style. There are two ways you can make use of the width and the height with your image. You can use the CSS, inline CSS with it, or we use purely HTML width and height. You can use that. You can see I started an example here using the CSS here. This is it here. Let me highlight it. I believe you can see it. This part now I said style is equal to width 500%. 500 pixels, the height 60 pixels. That is CSS, inline CSS. But if I don't want to use inline CSS, I don't want to use pure HTML. Look at the way I did it here in this second example here. Width is equal to 500, height is equal to 600. This is pure HTML. The width and the height attribute always define the width and the height of the image in pixels. Note, always specify the height and the width of an image. Actually, this might not necessarily be important, but it's essential most times, most especially when the images you want to embed in that web page, you know nothing about it. You just go online to download a particular image, you don't even know the pixel yourself. So you're the one who is designing. Before you design anything, you have an idea of how you want that page to look like. You have okay, this is how I want this page to look like. So that idea you already have, you have to transfer it to paper before you transfer it to design. So I want the image to take this particular section of this design. I want it to take, okay, now let me show you something. Did I have any image here? Okay, let me show you this kind of image. Look at this image. When I was designing this particular page, I just wanted this image to just take a few parts. This is the same thing. So now normally, if I want to get this kind of screenshot online, it will be bigger than this. So you have to give it your height and the width. Okay, image, or listen to me. I don't want you to take more than this. for my page. I don't want you to take more than this for my page. You understand? So that is why it is important most time to use the height and the width to specify with the space they are going to take in your web page. So then how do you embed your image to your page, to your website? We can do that from a project, from your project folder, or from another folder in your project folder, just like we have here. Let me show us. This is my project folder called Practica. Now I have another folder called Images, where I keep all those images. All those images are being kept. So if I want to reference to this folder, how will I do it? Remember my HTML document. Look at the folder here again. Remember my HTML document. This index is in the root directory of my project folder as the Practica, as the images. So then I'm coding it. I'm coding this particular, this is what I'm saying, this one that I just highlighted. I'm coding this particular design is in this index.html. So the axis is in the same directory with the images folder. So all I just need to do is tell my compiler, loop into there's a folder called images in this same location. Index.html is located. Look for a folder called images. Open that images folder, then loop into it. You will see a particular image or picture called html5.gif. That is what I want to use. Then you can see my alternate here. I said attribute, the value I say HTML5 icon. Then I use style here actually to design the width, to decide the width and the height. Understand? We are going to use this. That's why I'm talking about them. Then if you want to get your images from a website, I will do all of this in the recorded section so you can understand. I think those are the most important things you need to get along with this course. Okay. Those are the most things you need. So let's dive in straight into the project. So now I will go back to my project folder where you have everything set. This is what we have here. Then just right click, open with. If you right click here, this is Windows 11. If you right click, then you see open with code. Or you right click on the folder, or better still, if you don't see that, open your VS Code. If you open your VS Code, then you just navigate to, how can I move this thing? Okay, let me hide this. Sorry, hide, where is it? Okay. Now, all you just need to do is go to your VS Code, then click on File, then click on Open Folder. When you click on Open Folder, if your own system does not have that, you can see this is my desktop. This is my desktop. I will go to Shinofe training folder. I have my week 3. Then I have my Practica folder, which is the project folder for this week. Then I will just select it. When you select it, you are here. Mind you, won't have any of this code. You don't have any of this code. All you just have is just your images folder, the assignment mockup image, the assignment test, the contest test, and your mockup test. Because there are 2 projects for this. You have an assignment and you also have a practical to learn the assignment. So all you just do, click here, new file, this icon here, click on it, then create new file, then name it index.html. When you open it as index.html, into that. I want to, we've already done something like this, but then just for simplicity's sake, then you have created your index.html. There are 2 ways to bring out, like I said, you can type this in if you want to know it offhand. It's good to know it offhand. The first thing is this. Then you come back, then you create your HTML dot lang. Which lang did I want? I want English. Then that is HTML. Then you create HTML. Then you can see we have the closing tag here. Then I open my head tag. Open my head tag. You can do all of this just for you to know their offhand. Maybe possibly you may be in a challenge whereby you are not provided with Visual Studio Code or any code editor. Somebody just call you, okay, I want you to come and code this challenge on pure Notepad. That has no suggestion. It has, so you can learn all of this so that for you to, but then for productivity's sake, like I said, you're going to be doing most of the thing we'll be doing as a pro. You're not just be doing it as, okay, this is a rough work. Maybe when you are good, no, you have the mindset of a pro. Just see yourself as a pro already. So there are two ways just for you to make life easier for yourself. There you press your shift 1 to have this icon. When you have this icon and you hit enter, this first icon, that is this hyphen, right? I said this hyphen. What is this? Exclamation mark. This is exclamation mark. You click enter, you have this. You have, that is a basic requirement for your HTML. I will explain all of this in the next video I'll be uploading. You have all of this, but another option, another way you can do it, just type HTML. Then from the option, select HTML5. You still have the same thing. So this is a basic structure you will need for any HTML page. You must have all of this. It's a must in all your page. So what you just need to do is, the first thing is change the title. You change the title, and the title says the basic language of the web is HTML. The basic language of the web, HTML. Then I'm done with my head. I can collapse it. Then I'll come straight into my body. Now this is the mockup. Another thing you need to do here is this. Let me maximize this so that you can see the full page. Another thing you need to do, you can open this mockup. This is what we are designing. This is what we are designing. Can I zoom it? Okay, you can. Very good. I can zoom it so that you can see very well. I don't know. Can you guys see my screen very well? Because I'm on night mode. Can you see I'm on night mode and night filters. Can you see it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can open this here, or better still, you can use another image viewer to open the image separately. If you watch the video I did, this is what I did in the video that I made. I opened this with Picasa. Then, okay, can you see you might not be able to see because I'm not sharing my full desktop. I place it side by side with my code editor. So you can see, okay, this is it. What did I need to do first? Yeah, what I need to do first is, okay, the code magazine. We've talked about the header. You can see the code magazine is a header. The basic language of the web, HTML, is also an header. We have what is HTML is also an header. So this one is the biggest, followed by this, then followed by this. So definitely if you practice H1 to H6, you should know this one is H6. So what you just need to do is, here is write, open up tag H1, you close it. Then I have this. I provided the text for all of this, so you don't need to write from the image. You understand? You don't need to write from the image. I provided every of the text that you need. So you just need to do is just copy and paste the text. That is exactly what I just did. So how do I run this thing? The last time I told us to install an extension called Live Server. If you have the extension installed already, you can just right click here, then say open. Right click here, then just say open with Live Server. Well, if you don't have the extension open here, go back to your project folder. You can see your index HTML in your project folder, right? Then just double click it, it will open it for you. So this is what I have. Then if you look at the image, you see we are on point, right? You can see we are on point. So you go back, what next again? Okay, I have another header. call, then you click on enter. I have another header, call which is my H2, right? My H2, that is an H2 for you. If I should open this with live server, as I'm editing, you'll be seeing everything live. As I'm editing, you'll be seeing everything live. So you wouldn't need to refresh. As I'm editing, you'll be seeing everything live. Okay, very good. But then you can imagine we have something before that time. And what is that? We have some link here. This link you are seeing, blog, challenge, Flexbox, grid, they are called navigation link. These are navigation, these are links. So how do I do them? It's very simple. Just use your anchor tag, which is href. Then I will use this. This hash that I'm using here simply means this is a dead link. That is, it's not going anywhere. The link is not going anywhere. You understand? It's not going anywhere. So what did I have inside it? I have blog. I have blog. Is it blog or blogs? Let me check. The blog is blog. I have blog. If you check now, if you check my browser, you can see exactly I have blog now. Then I can duplicate it by using Shift, Alt, down arrow. I want to duplicate it. The navigation links, there are 4. So I would repeat that in 4 times. So I have it already in 4 times. You understand? So you can see I have 4 blocks now. So all I just have to do now is change this one to challenge. Challenge. Flexbox. I share a link in our week 1 on how to set up your VS Code like mine. Then we have CSS. I don't know if anyone of you have watched it yet. You can see now we have the same thing. If you look at it here, you can see, yes, we have the same thing. So now we have image followed by a picture. And that picture, let's say image. Remember, image followed by SRC. That is the source of the image. What is the source of the image? I have image folder. Remember, images folder. Then from this images folder, let me look for it. Images folder. It is in my system. These are the images in that folder. So which particular one I want to use here? I'm using Laura Jones because I already know that is the name. Before you move in, you already know the name and name. The name I have Laura Jones. Okay. Then I will use my hotkey, and let me say my hotkey. Who is this person? Laura Jones. Laura Jones pics or image. Very good. Now I'm done with that. But if you look at what's going on? Okay. But now, if you look at this image compared to this one, you will see our own is bigger than what we have in the mockup, right? It's bigger. So how do you reduce it? That is where the height and the width comes in play. You remember we are not using CSS there. Assuming we are using CSS, I will not do that here. I will just go to my CSS. This particular image, give it this size. Okay, now I'm good to go. So you have to have another attribute here. I told us I don't want us to use style at all. I want us to use basic HTML. So what I just have to do is use width. What's the width? Let me say 50. Then the height. Give me 50 as well. Now you'll be seeing as I'm clicking on Ctrl S, my code is adjusting itself. It's adjusting itself. I don't need to start stretching myself. That is the importance of Prettier. It's an extension. It's an extension on this on Visual Studio Code. And if you can see, when I hover my mouse on this image link, it's showing me a preview of the image. This is also an extension called Image Preview. You understand? This is an extension called Image Preview. You can download it too from the Visual Studio Code environment, from the extension environment. Okay, because of my battery, I will have to copy the rest of the code. I will have to copy the rest of the code so that what I really want to denote from this course, you guys can get it. You understand? So permit me to do that. I have just 40% left. Now, I want us to know 3 things, or let me say 4 things. Number 1, the structuring. If you look at this, if you look at our code, I did first thing that I did here. You see those links, I put them in a navigation to group them. Don't worry, that is part of the structuring. You can see navigation. When I collapse this navigation, you can see I have all the links inside this navigation. If you can see the other time when I was explaining about some of these semantic HTML, I made mention of navigation, the nav elements, where you can use. I can use navigation at the footer, at the bottom of my element too. So far, it is a link. It's a set of links. Navigation means set of links. It's a set of links. It's not just one link. It's not just a single link. When you have multiple links, that is navigation. So I use navigation to group them together so that my work will really have a good structuring. You understand? Then you can see here, I have something called header here. This header, inside this header, what did I have? Let me put a space here. Let me put a space here. Inside this header, what did I have there? I have my H1. I have my navigation links. Then I close it. That is my header. If I want to apply CSS to this particular page, we see how the difference, the effect it will take, that will take place. Then the main body of my website, from this image now, sorry, from the basic language down to this place, I can give it a structure. But what I just say, if you look at it, these look like the main content of the page. These highlighted parts look like the main content of the web page. So I can group this one into one place. This related post, I can group it in another place because it said related post. It's not related to what is on the post. It's not what is on the page, but something related to that. Then at the bottommost of the page, I have a footer. I can also group that one. Grouping, like I said, from when I was explaining HTML semantic in the slide, I told us when your web page is well structured, if I should give you this code now and I say, Evan, I want you to modify the header of this web page and add a link to it, you don't need to go to the bottom of the page. Hey, where will I have the link? It's well explanatory. Then if I want to document it very well, that is the importance of comments. I can put my comments. Header starts here. Okay, the heading of my, or the heading of the web page. I can put it here. Then here I can say, yeah, let's say headings. Heading ends here. Semantic HTML. Yes, comment is good. You will see it. I have it in the slide already. When you have comment like this, a layman will know, okay, heading. And I told you the assignment I gave you, or the instruction I gave you, go to my header and edit. I want you to have one more link to the navigation, and that is the link. Okay, when you open the code, okay, this is the heading of the web page. Okay, that means everything I need to do, I have to be inside here. Okay, the heading ends there. So you don't need to progress anymore. You know everything you have to do, you have to be inside here. Then, like I said, all of these look like the main, if you look at my Chrome here, all of these look at the main deal, the main thing of the web page, the main information on the web page. I can group all of this in another container as well. Just to segment, to have different segments, to segment my web page. You know, when you have a building, you have a bedroom, you have your living room, you have your dining, you have your kitchen. Why do you demarcate it? Why don't you just have a single open space and save those money of building bricks? Well, we can save the money, just have an open space and just fence it around and you just be cooking anywhere. But it doesn't make sense. The same way it happens here. So when you have it well segmented, like well documented, well structured, it makes your code very readable. You understand? So now the main content of the page, I can decide to use article. I can use article, I can use section, I can use div, but div, note that div is a non-semantic structure element. Because if I say div, what does div mean? Div has no meaning to a layman. Div, and what is div mean? What I'm doing. But article, when I say article, okay, article, that's maybe like, okay, a particular news about what I'm doing. Okay, section, okay, this is a section of the web page. Okay, this is a particular section. I can use main. Okay, main, it connotes, okay, main. I think that should be the main information on the web page. You understand? So I use that article here in my own case. That is the structure. Everything I have here, you can see I put them inside article. You can see this, I have this, the H2, the language. Then I have my image, the Laura Jones image. Then I have this posted by, then this posted by, I did something here. This Laura Jones, if you look at it from the mock-up itself, you see the Laura Jones here. You can see it's bold. Look at where my mouse is. You can see it is bold. You can see it is bold. So what did I use here? I use strong, the strong element or the strong tag to bolden Laura Jones. Then the first assignment I'm giving you here, this 21st, I want you to change it to superscript. That is, this S should be raised above 21st. So when you are sending this your same job, you can watch all these videos. They are on YouTube. On how I coded this particular page is on the YouTube. So take your time to watch it. Do the same thing. So I'm giving you the first assignment here. This is your 21st, August 21st. Let this 21st be raised above 21. That is your first assignment in this particular example. This is an example actually. Of course, this is not your main assignment. This is an example. So you make 21 so you can note it somewhere. Make this 21st, the ST, to be above the 21. Then you can say I proceed to this image. This image, let me remove the height and the width for you to see the way it looks like. For you to see the way it looks like. Can you see how big it is? Can you see how big it is? Because I'm not the owner of the image. If I'm the designer of the image, I can already, because I already know what I want to have, I can design it to have the exact size. But because I'm not the owner, I just picked it online. So I have to force it to obey my design. I have to force it to obey my own design by giving it a height of 200 and a width of 500. Because this is the space I want it to occupy. So I give it that space. Another thing I want us to know, I was supposed to say that in the slide, this meta file, there's a particular element here, this meta element for these few points. Let me remove this few points for you to see what I'm saying. Let me remove it. Look at your page, look at my web page to see what happens. You didn't see any difference, right? Let me maximize the page. Can you see? Can you look? You see the way it is now. Now let me return this back. You might not really get this effect here because the content I have here is not much. Okay, let me change it. Let me delete it. Control Y. Let me remove the image size so that you see what I'm really talking about here. Let me remove this image. I think this should work. So by the time I have a smaller window, you can see the way where it is now. Now let me return back my meta file. I don't know if you notice there's a change. The picture changed a bit. It changes a bit. Anyway, don't worry. I'll have a better example in the future so that for you to understand what's the importance of that particular meta file. Then I move straight to, after this image, I move straight to my paragraph. The whole modern websites and web application are built using the fundamental technology. This my fundamental is rendered in italics. It is rendered in italics. So how do I render it in italics? You use the EM tag, that is the emphasis tag. I wrap it around the fundamental to have it this way. You understand? Then I also have another paragraph. All of these that are seen inside the article. You understand? Then I move straight to what is HTML. That is A3. That is H3, header 3. Because if you look at this, what is HTML? It's smaller to the basic language of web. It's also smaller to the code magazine. Then another thing I want us to know here, look at my hypertext markup language. The beginning of each letter starts with a capital letter. Okay, I need to add it for the language as well. Then strong. Strong. You can see it closes automatically for me. So I'll just have to paste it at the end of the letter L. Look at my L. You can see my L too is now bold. It's now bold. In the language, then I have that. Then I move straight to, now let me go straight to the list. The first list I have here is called, anybody tell me the list I have here? This 1 to 3 is, what type of list is that? Do you have anybody here? Hello? Can somebody tell me the type of list I have here? For this 1 to 3, what type of list is that? Can you guys hear me? I want to be sure. I want to be sure. I hear me.
List.
You said what?
On bordered list.
On what?
Bordered list.
Border? Where do you hear that from? Who taught you that? Bordered list?
I said on bordered.
On order. Okay. This your one. There's nothing like on border list. We have, I told us 3 lists in this during the course of the introduction. We have on order list. We have order list, ordered list, and we have data list. I told us that the 1 to 3 is the order list. This bullet type of listing, it is called the unordered list. At the data list, you see, you by the time you go through the course, the full HTML course I will be uploading very soon, then you try them yourself. Is the unordered list. So I already know this 1 to 3 I want to do, because that is what the mockup says. The mockup says, yeah, I have a list item here using 1 to 3. I already know how do I have 1 to 3 in my HTML. That is order list. And how do I write order list? It is HOL. That is the element. So you open the tag here, you can see it. Then I closes it down here. So inside it, I have how many items? I have 3 list items. That is, I listed 3 items. There's a list 3 items listed. So each item listed will be wrapped around the li elements. Then I have my opening tag. You can see I have my closing tag. Then I have my actual elements. Then another thing I want us to know here before I will move straight to the assignment is this particular link. You can learn more. You can learn more at MDN. This MDN simply means Mozilla Developer Network. Yes, Mozilla. This is a page you can learn a lot of HTML. Like honestly, you can learn even web design generally. You can learn from this particular network. These are a group of programmers coming together, brainstorming. So you can learn from here as well. You can learn from Stack Overflow. You can learn from W3. So there are a lot of free websites out there. You can also learn more. Understand? The reason why you are subscribing to some of these courses is that the way we explain, they might not give you that time. Programmers are always busy. They might not give you that time to be explaining, okay, this one, if you have to think. They believe it's majorly for the pro, you understand? But this will actually expose you to those material because you are accumulating or you are assimilating the what's it called? The basic knowledge from here. So this time, now there's something that I did here. I'm supposed to include it in your assignment, but I purposely neglected it. I taught us that link, there are 3 ways you can visit a link. I can click on a particular link to open in a new tab. I can click on a particular link to open a new window. I can click on a link to open in the current window. This particular one, if I should click on this control, it's open on another tab. This is it here, loading here. This is it. If I should click on, I think Control Shift, right? It should open, okay. It's also, no, there's one control. I've forgotten the control. Let me just use right click here. You can see it opens another window entirely. Can you see? Oh, thank God, they restore our lights. You can see this. So I think we can have enough time now. Even though you guys want to go on 3 hours, 4 hours today, I'm available for you. So, sorry, give me a few seconds. Right. So this, you can see this open in a new window. So you can also do the same thing. What is the importance of each one of them? Have their importance. Sure, understand. Now, one of the importance of opening a link in a new page is my website. If I'm leaving my website, this is my website, then I want to refer the user of my website or the visitor of my web page to a particular document that does not belong to me. This kind of link, it's always advisable to be open in a new tab so that your own web page will not be overridden. It will not be overridden. So the person can, okay, when it is open, look at it. When I click on it, it's open automatically. I didn't hold any control this time around. But normally, if you want to open a new window, a link to a new window, you have to hold your control. But this time around, I didn't hold control. That is what I already have in my code. You understand? It's open. So if the user of this particular web page is done with whatever is doing, okay, this person is done with whatever is doing, okay, what is here? Did I need anything? Okay, I need something here. You pick it, you can close the tab and return back to your own web page. Unlike having it on your own. Now let me change it. Where's the link? Let me remove it. I already taught us this. All I just have to do is remove this attribute called target and its value. I remove it. Now the page has refreshed automatically. When I click on the link now, you see it loads on my home web page. So my web page has been overridden, and the document that I'm referring to is not on my web page. It's not my website document. So it does not make sense. That's not a good practice. It's not a good practice. So I have to click on back. Sometimes maybe maybe sometime I navigated on this web page. Let's say, for example, I spent like 1 hour researching on this web page, clicking on one link to the other, looking. I have to click like 10 or 20 times. I have to click the back arrow like 10 to 20. But if I've opened it in a new tab, when I'm done, I can just close it. My tab is still there. Or I still want to check my web page to that particular web page. I can be seeing both of them. Okay, this one, I can, okay, this is how it looks like here. You understand? I can see it categorically, okay. I can have them side by side. This is what I'm saying. I can have them side by side. Okay, it's not refreshed yet. You can see it opens in a new tab. Now I can have it side by side. Okay, this is the external link. This is my own link. Okay, I can check them. Okay, this is what this person is saying. Okay, but if I open it on it, then I will not have this. I would not have the opportunity for that. So that's one of the importance of using your target element. And this target element has like 4 attributes, if I'm not mistaken. And this is your target attribute, rather it has like 4, I think 4 or 5 value. You have underscore blank, we have self, we have in the new window and the lights, but the default one is self. So if you don't have the target attributes included in your anchor element, it will open in itself this default one. Each of these attributes have Z value. They have Z value. So if you don't put this the default, if you don't have a value for the attributes, it will open it. Just imagine I remove this underscore blank so that you understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is my target attribute. Actually, I use target attribute here, but I gave it no value, right? So automatically it will still make use of the default. If I open it, it will still open on itself. Can you see? It's open on the same web page. But because I didn't give my target any value, but by the time I gave it a value, it works here. So another thing I want us to see now, okay, we've talked about lists, but you can see here now I have an on order list, not on border, on order. Where's my slide? List. Can you see? On order. You can see my screen now. This one is on order. This one is order. And these are the example. Look at the sample of on order list. Look at the example of order list. So that is what I'm saying. We have data list. I think I have an example here. Okay, I only have the line of code just for an example for you to code and see for yourself. This is an example for that. For you to code and see how it looks like yourself. So then you can see I open the UL on order list. U start for on order, L start for list. The other one, the other time we say OL, that is ordered list. The way your LI stand for list, that is number of items I want to have in those lists. So as many as I have them, that is as many as it will display on my screen. Now, the good news of this order list is that all these lists is that it synchronizes automatically. Remember this operating, the opening tag is my number 1. If I should have a new tag here above this one, above my number 1, it will still make it number 1. It will make the new one because it's number 1 on the list, LI. And let me say, just for example, it will change, for example, to my number 1. Can you see why the number 3 before changed to number 4? So you don't need to tell it, okay, no, I still want you to maintain number 3. You don't need it. It performs the operation automatically. Then another thing we have here now. So we are done with this article. So let me collapse each of these elements, each of these container. You can see, and one of the importance of using container is that it makes your code very neat. You can see now, look at everything you can see here. Let me show you something here. You can see how plenty of this line of code looks like, right? You can say, this code is much, this thing is much, right? By the time I collapse all of them, you see, all you will be seeing is just maybe like 4 lines of code. Maybe like 4 lines of code. Let me collapse them. You see over here, this header. Let me collapse the header. Let me collapse the article. Now I'm done with the article. Now you can see now when I want to do it, I want to start this related post. I created another container for it. And this container, name it aside. If you like, you can name it article 2. You can give it article 2. You can give it section. You can say div. You can use div. But like I said, try as much as possible to make your code semantically structured, to be semantically well structured. Aside, when I use aside, that means something different from the main thing we are talking about, isn't it? Grammatically, that is what aside should ring to us. Aside me, it's not really part of what we are talking about, but it's related to it. It's related to it. So don't let us throw it away. We can still put it somewhere. So that is why I use aside. If I like, I can even change it to container. I can change it to container 2. I can change it to container bottom. But what I did here is I cannot use anyhow name. I cannot use anyhow name. Like this container bottom I'm talking about, it is not part of HTML5. It's not part of semantic HTML5. I think I show us some of the semantic HTML5 elements I showed us previously. Let's see. I think I showed us it. You can see these are some, not all, of the HTML5 semantic elements. You can see them: articles, aside, details, feed, caption, figure, footer, header, main, mark, nav, section, summary, time. I explain all of them, when and how you can use them, where to use them. I explain everything. I have everything explained there. You can also Google to learn more about them. You can see this is a summary of them here. So that I cannot use article. If I want to use class, we talked about that mostly when we get to CSS, and we should be entering CSS maybe in the next 2 weeks, because CSS is where we are going to spend almost 70% of this class, of this program, because that is where the main D lies. You understand? So if I'm using class, now let me show you what I'm talking about class. This aside, now I can give it a class of let me say aside underscore bottom. It changes nothing. And though I know, okay, I give it, you see my code, it changes nothing in my code. But where will this aside underscore bottom be useful? It is in CSS when I want to style everything here. When I want to style everything here, that is when I will make use of this aside underscore bottom. Because I might have multiple aside. Let's say, for example, now I have, let me duplicate this aside. So you understand what I'm saying? Let's say I have multiple asides. Now I have another aside, right? Another related post now. And I don't want to tamper with the second one. I only want to use the first one. I only want to style this first one. So I give it a class name of aside bottom or aside top. Let me say aside top, because now we now have two now. This one should be top. This one should be top. I gave it that name. I gave it that class name. So in my CSS now, if I want to style, what I will style is aside top is what I will style. I cannot use aside top here. Instead, where I use aside, I cannot use it because that is not the, it is not an HTML, it's not an HTML5 semantic element. You understand? But for class name, you can use anything for class name, but then it is always said, always use a relevant names to name your element or your containers. I cannot put this in and just say fan or animal. what I'm doing on this page, does it relate to anything like fan or animal or chair? I cannot use it. It does not make any sense. So when you are using, there's something in computer science we call naming convention. You can Google about programming naming convention or HTML5 naming convention. You can read all of this to know how to name your elements, to know how to name your class. You cannot start your class now with 4. You can't. It has to either be underscore or a letter. So all of those things, you can learn all of those things. So let me delete the other aside that I have here. I only want to have one aside, right? So I'm going to delete the second one. I think I have only one, right? Yes, I have only one now. So I have only one now. So the inside this aside, what did I have? My first thing is related post. If you look at this related post, similar to this, why should we learn HTML5? That is H4. Then I have another list. If you notice, each of these images have a bullet before them. Can you see? They have a bullet. So that is why I need to wrap everything in, what's it called? In an order list, because it's an order list, not ordered list, not an order list. It is an unordered list. Then the list one I have. What is the content of the list one? Image with 2 texts, with a text and a paragraph. You can see what I have here. Image source. Where is the image located? In my image folder. Which particular image I want to pick from this image folder? I said pick related one.jpg. You have to put the extension of each image. Thank God for Visual Studio Code. It makes code very easier these days. Unlike before, you have to code all of this in offhand. I can remember when I was learning HTML back then in school, 2010, 2011. We used Notepad, pure Notepad. You can imagine cramming all of it. It's not that you cram it. Once you're working day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, it's already part of you. You already know them. You must put the extension, you must put this, and then the HTML, I think that time we are using HTML3, if I'm not mistaken, HTML3 or HTML4. It was a bit, it's more bogus than this. Like there are some lines of code, like 10 to 20 lines of code you need to write first at the beginning of your page. Unlike this HTML5 now, I just have 3 lines and I'm good to go. And each line says, each word, the line can be like over 200 words. So it makes life easier. So what you just do here is, okay, then what's the alternate name for this image? Jim Dillon. I don't know if that is the person's name. I use that. You remember the alternate name. Now look at something now. Let me delete something from this image now. Look at my web page now. Look at what happened. You can see the image is not showing, but what is showing? The alternate name is showing. Jim Dillon. Can you see it's showing here? Let me highlight it so that you can see what I'm saying. Can you see it's showing? Jim Dillon is showing here. Now that shows there's a problem with the image link. Something is wrong. And yes, obviously something is wrong. The image, there's no image correlated hyphen in my image folder. Let's check it. Let's check it out. Do you have anything like that? Related hyphen. There's nothing like that. You can see we have related 1, related 2, related 3. So there's nothing like related hyphen. If I should put related 5, do you have related 5 in our project folder? No, so it will still not display. So, but as soon as I change it to related 2, you can see my image is back. You can see my image is back on my web page here. Then repeat the same thing for the third one. Repeat the same thing up to the third one. Then I close my list, my other list. Then close the aside. Remember we created the container. Close it. Then let me collapse the aside here too, so that you can see it collapse. Okay, let me collapse this, our article 2. The article 2 is collapsed. You can see everything is hidden here. So I don't have to litter everything. Imagine I don't have this container, everything have to be, you have to display like that. Just look at this navigation. What I did to this nav here, I cannot do it to each of these links because, okay, because these things, this link, or they look alike. I should be able to collapse it. I can't because I didn't wrap them in a container. Another thing I want you to know is all this link here, they are children to nav. They are all child to nav. Each one of them is a child to nav element. So these are children to nav elements. You can see they are not on the same line. They are not on the same line. Can you see this? I didn't write them like this. I didn't write them like this. I did not write them like this. Even though I write them like this, it is wrong. So you have to tab it. But because of the extension, I want to make life easier for myself. I don't want to start. Okay, it should be like this. I remember back then when we are using Notepad, ordinary Notepad though, not even Notepad plus. When you type, you have to, okay, it's all of them must not be in straight line. We don't even have full understanding of this structure. Sometimes you just do like this, you'll be writing like 3, do like this, cough like this. Okay, when you do that one, this one should, okay, let this one go like this. That is how if I can still get my coach in 2010, you will see them like this. Is this supposed to be like this? All this link, are they child to each of the link? They are not child. Each one of them, they are child to their parents, and the parents element here is enough. But this is how we write. So when I'm done with that, imagine, see my link. I will not do this one like this. I will not do this one like this. I will not do this one like this because I thought it is a design that we are doing. It's a design. This is how we do. Back then in 2010, I will not do like this. I will not leave this one like that. This one, I will not do this one. I will not, this one has gotten to the peak. I will not start another one. Okay, this one too should follow suit. This one, that's how we'll be doing 3. We'll now be doing like you are writing VC3 like that. But that is how we thought it was supposed to be. But thank God for HTML5. When it's HTML5K, it's open our eyes. No, that is not how you're supposed to be. This is how it's supposed to be done. But you can imagine all this nonsense that I do now. On clicking on Ctrl S, you can see everything rearrange back to themselves. That is the power of this code editor that I'm using, plus the extension I have installed. The extension I'm using that does this job for me is called Prettier. You understand? So then the last page now. Okay, so let me collapse my navigation links to. All of them has to be okay. You can see my nav is a child to header. By the time I collapse my header, you can see they are all on the same line with article and aside, and all of them are children of body. You can see. So then look at my footer too. My footer is also a child to body. So for inside my footer, what did I do? I did, okay, what did I have in my footer? I have paragraph, copyright. Then how did I have this art sign? This copyright logo? Just put your upper sign. There are a lot of them. When you put your upper sign and press Ctrl Enter on your keyboard, you can see them. They are tons, if not close to thousands. You can see them. You can see how plenty they are. You can see how plenty. They are in hundreds. Yeah, there are hundreds. Let me pick any other one. Look at my web code. Look at my web page. Can you see what I picked? Can you see what it gave me? Like double C, back C, and front C. Can you see? So let me change again to another thing. Let me look for another one. Okay, this one I have a brief. Let's see, what does this one look like? Can you see the A? This A sign. Can you see? So for what I'm using here, I'm using arrow. That is what I'm using. There are a lot of arrow too. If I remove this first A, this first R, you see a lot of arrow. You see a lot of arrow. Can you see? You see? That's why I said they might be in 1,000 if care is not taken. but there are a lot of them. Let me pick this one. Look at what this one looks like. Look at my code. Can you see my code? That is it. Can you see this forward down arrow that has a bar at the edge? Yes. But in our case, that is not what we want. That's not what we want. What we want is copy. We want copy. We have so many copy too. Look at this cup products. What does this look like? Can you see that? Let's check another one again. We have cup F. Let's see what that looks like. Can you see? Can you see this? This one has copy without the circle inside of it. Let's see. Okay, this one complement. Let's see what this complement look like. Can you see? But in our case, all we want is just copy. Because I already know it's copy. I will type copy, then close it. That's all. Then it gave me what I want. So that is that. So I want you to replicate, do the same thing. Watch those videos. Watch this video. If this video is not well detailed enough, watch those one on the YouTube to have the same thing like this. Now, this is how you are going to send your assignment to me. This is how you're going to send your assignment to me. Once you're done, you create a project folder just like me, practical. I don't want to see this material that I sent to you in that assignment. You create it called practical. Okay, you can create, just name it practical or put your name. Instead of practical, you can put your name. Challenged by Evan. Or practical by Evan. Inside the folder, let me have your images. You already know what should be in those. In the folder, you should know the images that should be in that folder. Your index file, you are creating it from your Visual Code. All of these assignments, mock-up, content, you might not include it. I don't need it. It's for your own consumption. I do not need it. I only put them for you so that you know what you are designing. This is the mock-up. I only add it so that you know, okay, this is what I'm designing. You understand? This is what I designed. That content is the content of each of the words here. I also included it so that there's a challenge I did some years back. When you are designing, you have to be copying the text. It's tedious. I have to be writing from the image. You can't copy the text from this image. Obviously, you can do that with some software, some third-party software, but it's stress. When I can give my student or my mentees the contents, the text contents. So that is what I did for you. You understand? So that is why I have that test, that content test. So you don't need to send it back to me. You don't need to send it back to me. You don't need to send the mock-up back to me as well. All I just need is your images folder and your index folder for this example we had. And inside the same folder, I have your assignment. You can see I have the assignment. I've done mine already and already copied the image. The image I have inside of it, I already have it here. This is the image. I already included it in the folder. You understand? Already included it in the folder. So I don't want to use two folder. I just want to use a single folder for it. So when you are done with everything inside your project folder, this is my own project folder now. What did I need to do? I just have to zip this one. Whatever Windows you're using, if you have zipper, that is compressor. If you don't have compressor, Windows have a default function for this. You can see compress to zip. This is the window features. And if I want to use my third-party software, I will just click on WinRAR. I will just click on add to archive. Add to archive. Then I will choose zip and I will choose OK. Then boom, you can see I have it practical. This is what you have sent to me. This is what I want to see. During our next class, then we'll talk about GitHub. Hopefully, if I'm not stressed out next week, before next week class, I will do a recording session for GitHub and Git so that you won't be needing to be sending your practical work to me. You'll be uploading it live. You can be sharing it to your friend. See what I just designed. help me check out this page. What do you see? What do you think about it? You understand? You can have them on your web page, on the web page, on the internet. You understand? You can have them on the internet. So then another way to do it, is using Windows features. Right click on it, then click on compress to zip. Can you see compress to zip? What name did I want to give to it? Practical by, I can put practical by Steve. Then you send this to me. I use window feature. This is window features. Then you send this to me on the WhatsApp, on the group, or not my DM. On the group. So that is the only thing I want to see. Then for your assignment, now let me show you the assignment. Okay, I don't even need to extract it. I think I have it already. For the assignment, this is your assignment. This, you can see I have two mock-up for assignment, mock-up for the classroom. This is the assignment. This is what I want to design for me. So what did I have here? I only have, if you look at everything here, this is just a segment of the web page. This is not the complete web page, right? This is a segment of the web page. So I can wrap everything in a container. I can wrap everything in a div. I can wrap everything in a section. I can wrap everything in an article. From any of these lists that I showed us here, from any of these, I can wrap any of them. Of course, you cannot wrap into summary because that is not summary. You cannot wrap it in time. You cannot wrap it in navigation. You cannot wrap it in mark. The closed element you can wrap it to its main, section, article, aside. Yes, you can. Any of those three. Is it 4? Aside, article, main, section. Then there's another one called container. You can wrap it. Container is not HTML element. Actually, it is what's it called? It's a bootstrap element, but then it is allowed in HTML5 as well. So you can use container. We have wrapper too. Wrapper 2 is a bootstrap element. By the time you get to CSS, you get to know all of this. Our CSS alone is going to take us 2 months. Now, HTML, by now we should be in CSS. By now we should be, because we spent a month already. By now we should be in CSS. But then our turn up is a bit low. Like I said, our turn up is a bit low. And at the same time, I think the time we have is very limited. It's very limited. And that is why I have to force myself to do a live class. And at the same time, to do a record session, because I just want you guys to cover as much as you can, Because if you are limiting this thing to just only 2 hours every Wednesday for the next 3 months, you won't leave HTML. As that is how wide as it is. But because I want you to have basic knowledge, I don't just want to do wuru. I don't just want to, let me just rush them. After all, they can't know everything. No, I want you to grab as much as you can. But then your commitment to learning is what is important here. You understand? So you can do any of this. So this is your assignment. What did I have here? I have H2 here. This is an H2. Then I have image. This image, by the time you put the image, let me show us the image. You will see the image is very big. So I have to use, can you see how big the image is? Can you see how big it is? And can you see how small it is in the mockup? So I have to use my width and height. Now I'm giving you expo now. I'm giving you expo. I don't know. I've not been told if your program has if you have a grading, I don't know. But then next week you should be expecting your multi-choice, your first multi-choice question on HTML so far. And it is going to include all the videos we have on our YouTube to date, all the live section to date. I can't tell you the number of the question, be it 50, be it 100, I can't tell you. But we'll be expecting it before next week runs out. It's going to be a multi-choice. Just yes or no question, actually. So you have this, you wrap everything, let's say an article for an example, or a section, because this is just a section of a website. This is not a full website, right? So you can wrap it, then you have your H1, H2 rather, then you have your image. Then after this, your image, this is paragraph. This price, the price of the shoe is a paragraph. Then what I did, I just bolded the elements. Then I have another paragraph, free shipping. I have another paragraph. Then I have, this one is link now. This is your link. You can wrap a link to inside a paragraph if you like. If you like, you can just have it alone. You're still going to get the same thing. But then you can see we have arrow. There's an arrow here. So that is where your ampersand comes to play. This ampersand we toyed with the other time for copy. That is where it comes to play. So let me just help you so that let me make life easier for you. I'm a lazy programmer, so I love making life easier for my students. So all you just have to do is arrow. When you press arrow, okay, is there 4 arrow? Wow. Okay, arrow up. Let me see, did I have up arrow? Did I have left, right? Let me look for a right arrow. Right arrow. Let me see how it looks like, if it's going to give me the same thing. Can you see it gives the same thing? It gives the same thing rather, right? Where is the image? Yeah, it gives the same thing. It gives the same thing. So that is right arrow. We have left arrow, we have up, we have left and right. But what I used was ra. There's what is called R. And there's what is called ra. Arrow R. This is what I use. It still gives the same thing. If you look at it, can you see? I still have the same thing. So this is your own niche to find out, okay, which is best to use. You understand? So, but yeah, let me return this back to copy. That is what I'm supposed to have here. So then product details. Obviously, this is H3 or H4. If this is H2, then this is H4 or H2. H3, try it yourself out. Then I have a list. Item again. This time around, this is an on order list. That is why you are seeing bullets. You are not seeing 1, 2, 3. The only thing I think I've not taught us here is the button you are having here. And it's very simple. Very, very simple. Add to cart. Let me add it to after Matilda. Or let me put it first here. Button, your button element. All of this thing, you can Google it, how to add button to your code, to your HTML code. Can you see my button? So what did I want to have in my button? Can you see the button is added already? If you look at it here, can you see the button is added there, but without no content. So let me add to cart. Can you see? So it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Where we have much work is CSS, but you have to take enough time here to have you guys grounded and well rooted. You understand? Well grounded, because when your structuring is perfect, forget you won't have your problem in CSS will be minimal. It will be minimal. But if you are not good in structuring, my goodness, CSS now here we do. So that's about the assignment and the classwork. So let me entertain question now before we call it today. Any question? I'm waiting. Hello, I'm waiting. Or am I the only one here?
No.
Okay.
No,
Instead of keeping mute, you can just say you have no question. Okay.
no question.
You said one question or no question. Or what did I just add?
No question.
No questions. So
Hello.
yeah, I can hear you. What do you say?
A few weeks ago, you said that I'll show something to the class, and I haven't had the chance to show it yet. Come on.
Yeah, I told you to come to my DM. I didn't see your message. I told you to send it to me. I didn't see anything.
I haven't been able to.
If at your leisure time, if provided I'm chance, you can come to my DM, ask any question in the group. I'm gonna just tag me. That is just important. Just tag me. If you're asking me any question in the group, tag me. By that, I will reply as soon as possible.
Okay.
Yeah. So since you claim you've understood everything, you destructuring, then I think we are good to enter CSSM, where the main deal is. So, but before then, maybe I'm going to give us one big project to code. Since you guys are already a pro in HTML, so maybe I'm going to give us one big project. That will be next week after your multi-choice question. So wait for that. Okay. So this assignment I'm giving you plus this same example, because this is an example. Now you are submitted to work together, right? I've explained everything. If any of your colleagues, your comments is asking, how am I going to, please answer them in the group, because I will not, most especially those are not available for the class. Please do well to attend to them. How they will answer the question, how the question will be attended to. Did you hear me? So please do well to lend a helping hand to your commentee that are not available today, to guide them on how to do the assignment. Do everything is still, they will watch this particular lesson will be uploaded on YouTube, and the live recorded section too has been uploaded. So they have everything. They have everything to, they have all necessary details for them to do whatever they want to do. So I think in the absence of no question, see you next week. Yeah, you guys should be expecting my multi-choice question. At the same time, maybe I may not tell, maybe or not, another project, a very big one, indeed, a very big one, will be coming on HTML, strictly HTML only. Keep learning, like I do say, keep learning. You just have to keep learning, you relearn, you relearn. Sometimes you have to unlearn and relearn. Okay, that is how you become a good programmer. Okay, so thanks for your time for today. I really appreciate those of you that are here. Really motivates me, even especially you've been ambassador. Honestly, I think from day one, you've always been active. Likewise, you, I really appreciate. For those that I don't know the number of the program. I don't know. I don't have the total number, but I think I've seen. So up to now, I don't know some of them or what's up with some of them. Maybe the time we are fixing maybe the time we are fixing is not cool by then. Soon. I expected them to channel whatever challenges they might be facing to the moderator. So if possible, I can blend to.
Okay, hi Sarah. I think his network kicked him out, and we can wait for 2 minutes. And if he's not back, then or if he's even back. Hi Stephen, can you hear me? Hello, Stephen, can you hear us?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you now.
I'm sorry, I didn't know my microphone was muted. So sorry, my network locked me out. So I'm sorry about that. So for the assignment, I need it to be submitted on or before. Today is Thursday, on or before. Yeah, you can do all of this thing within 30 minutes. Everything within 30. Okay, as a beginner, let me say 3 hours. So I need it submitted on or before tomorrow midnight. On or before tomorrow midnight. Okay. For those of you that are still here, please pass the message to the rest mentee. The assignment should be submitted on or before midnight tomorrow, Friday, 9th of September, midnight, on or before that time should be submitted. Thank you. I think that's all I have for you for today. See you guys next week, Wednesday. Yeah, I think I should be available next week, Wednesday. See you guys next week, Wednesday. At the same time, keep learning.
Okay, thank you very much, Stephen. Sarah, thank you very much for joining the class. That's all for this week. Do you have anything to say, Sarah?
No, ma.
Okay, thank you very much and see you next week.